Uh, as I just said earlier, I am here. I'm going to introduce you all, introduce myself, and then I'm going to turn it over to Cal so that Cal can take over and he's going to lead you all through this call. Tonight, we had to divide attention. We were called into a meeting with the EPA, just as well as we've had our meeting with you all this evening. So we wanted to make sure that you all were in capable hands, as well as being able to be capable on this call. And so
Rev, you're on mute.
my wife is calling me and I'm on my phone. I'm sitting in DC right now. I've been in DC. Tomorrow we'll be with the global climate strikes, where I'll be participating in that. And in that time, be raising the voices of the South and raising up these issues of energy burden and energy inequity. Because at this point, we really understand, in particular with all of the climate devastation that we've experienced in the South, in the Gulf South, as well as the Southeast, as well as our awareness of what energy does, not only to planet, but to people as well. What it's doing not only to the cosmos, but to the communities as well. And it does it in various forms. And so we came here and have called you all to this place so that we can start learning about the things that are happening in various states, and really coming up with ways that we can work together to come against those things that are unjust, or injustices that are happening in community, as well as happening to our planet. And we want to do this. We do it from our faith-based perspective, but we want to also do this from a place of just being conscious of caring for community and caring for our cosmos. And we thank you for joining us in like-mindedness as we come together and try to figure out how best we can serve the South. And so we thank you for being with us. Again, I've got to jump off so I can jump into this listening session. However, I'm going to leave you into the capable hands of Cal Kreider, who is our program and policy director, and the one that's actually leading this program, Energizing the South for Energy Justice. So Cal, I'll turn it over to you all, to you now. And thank you again for being with us. Bless you. As always, I offer to you love, peace, and light.
Amen, Rev. Well, I want to thank everybody. Like Rev says, we appreciate your time tonight. I doubt we will keep you the whole hour, but we do have some good news to share, and hope to hear some good news from y'all too. We're going to give y'all a chance to introduce yourselves to those who don't know each other. But and I'm continuing to admit people here. So after I give a short presentation and unveil something we're very excited about, like I say, we will give y'all a chance to introduce one another and give us updates. We're also recording this meeting because we had some key folks that, like Rev, could not be here tonight, but wanted to see the program. So I'm sure they will be glad to get to know you as well. I'm going to go on and share a slideshow. And I just realized I'm at the wrong spot of the slideshow. So sorry, hang on. There we go. Let's try that again. So welcome to the first Energizing the South for Energy Justice meeting of 2022. I know some of you are intimately familiar with Energizing the South, but for others of you, it will be brand new. So I'll go quickly. And in case this is a recap. And you've already heard from Rev. Rev was a 2020 grist fixer, and this image is credit of grist. And we are excited to say that we are part of the initial Justice 40 cohort. And of course, the purpose of Justice 40 is to get money directly in the hands of frontline communities. Whereas in the past, so many federal grants had been siphoned off by academia and so forth, with the bulk of the money not actually making it to the frontline communities for whom it was intended. I'm also happy to say and invite you to our office space. We, the People's Justice Council, Alabama Interfaith Power and Light, are renting office space from Beloved Community Church in the Avondale area of Birmingham. So let us know when you're going to be in the Birmingham area, especially in the Avondale area. Would love to meet you and have lunch or after hours. We really got our start, and I guess I should back up here a second. Alabama Interfaith Power and Light is a program of the People's Justice Council, and it is also a chapter of National IPL, National Interfaith Power and Light. And one of the first things we pursued as we formed PJC and ALIPL some 3 years ago now was this interfaith statement on energy and equity. We unveiled this before the Public Service Commission, as well as before the home church of the president of the Public Service Commission. This is Twinkle Kavanaugh's home church, Twinkle Anders Kavanaugh. Y'all may know Rev from various venues, including his Let's Talk with Rev series, and we have these videos posted on our YouTube channel. And here we have our Justice Journal, our blog, one of our main avenues of communication. We are mapping environmental justice, energy and environmental justice. And to do this, this is an example of one of our training sessions. To do this, we are not reinventing the wheel or requiring you to buy expensive GIS licenses, Geographic Information Systems licenses. We show you how to utilize free tools like from the EPA to find out what is in your backyard or why your energy bills are so high. And as many of you know, we have our problems here in Alabama, including the nation's highest, worst carbon dioxide greenhouse gas emitter. We in the Southeast are noted for high levels of energy burden. That is, folks who spend 6% of their income on their energy utility bills, and energy poverty, those who spend 10% or more. And since we're housed in Birmingham, here's how Birmingham looks on the ACEEE, an energy efficiency scale. And so we top the nationwide list of 25 cities for energy burden relative to pay. As you might imagine, as a state, we rank very low in energy efficiency. Southern Company in general ranks low, but in particular, Alabama Power is worst, dead last in the country, 52 of 52 for energy efficiency. And of course, this is what's contributing to those high energy bills. So back in October of 2020, we kicked off this campaign of ours called Energizing the South for Energy Justice. And we had a star-studded lineup of environmental justice speakers from across the country to help us launch this. and they've been partnering with us ever since. One of our main programs under Energizing the South is something we call We Rise. That is weatherizing every residence in the Southeast. And if that sounds like an ambitious plan, we're dreaming big, but we think we've got a practical way to take weatherization, or as our energy efficiency expert prefers to call it, home energy makeovers, viral. How do we do this? Well, we leverage the houses of faith with whom we're already working. We're an interfaith organization. We work with houses of all faiths. And we feel that these are the resources, that these are levers to move the world. And I've got a slide that I'll with a quote about that coming up. But you know, how are we different? We partner with houses of any faith to amplify voices and develop local solutions. This is a map of energy burden in Alabama and really throughout the Southeast. The darker the color, the higher the energy burden. And you can see Alabama's Black Belt figured here predominantly. And so how do we take weatherization, home energy makeovers viral? Well, as our energy efficiency expert says, just as in real estate, that the three key factors for real estate are location, location, location. Our energy efficiency expert says the three key factors in home energy makeovers are air seal, air seal, air seal, or envelope, envelope, envelope. That is, the first thing you do is you plug the holes. So I'm continuing to show slides of our energy burden mapping as I explain this program. Here, for example, in Uniontown, Alabama, that many of you know very well, we can see that it is served by, that is both under Alabama Power's jurisdiction, that is subject to regulation or lack of regulation, as the case may be, by Alabama's Public Service Commission. But we're also dealing with this complicated picture of electric co-ops, in this case, Black Warrior Electric Co-op, these energy providers that are not regulated by the Public Service Commission. But back to We Rise, you can plug the holes in a home very efficiently with low-cost caulk and weather stripping. So it doesn't take a lot of money to plug the holes and show a significant decrease on folks' energy bills. And utilizing a train-the-trainer approach, that is, our energy efficiency expert goes in, plugs the holes, but shows somebody else how to do this work. Like I say, the tools are not expensive. It's very easy to learn, and this is how we hope to make We Rise go viral. So Uniontown is one of our target communities for We Rise and other environmental justice issues as part of our Justice 40 work. Many of you know some of the environmental issues that Uniontown is dealing with. When the Kingston coal ash spill was cleaned up in quotes, it was dumped on Uniontown, Alabama. Our energy burden mapping allows us to identify vulnerable communities, important points of contact, like elementary schools, as well as the houses of faith that are our levers to move Alabama, the Southeast, and the world. We're asking, for example, houses of faith to identify 3 priority residences. Doesn't have to be members of their congregation or whatever, but to identify 3 priority residences because they know the people in their communities. We provide mustard seed money. Our energy efficiency expert can plug holes in a home as well as train the trainers for about $1,200 a residence. And we can get the ball rolling with this mustard seed money. And as our energy burden mapping shows us, we are able to document. We know the folks on the ground know their neighborhoods, but we can add numbers to what the folks on the ground already know, and help document this, and hopefully document energy savings as the weatherization goes in. But it's not about the fancy maps or data. It's about the people. And here you see Rev Malcolm and some of the residents of Uniontown, Alabama. It's their voices we are seeking to amplify, their stories to share. And I'll just go through these quickly. You'll see Rev Malcolm playing with one of his toys, but it's a very important tool in the environmental justice toolkit, his drone. But tonight, I'm most excited to share another layer in our program and an initiative, program campaign, and now this what we're calling From Resilience to Restoration initiative. So this would be an umbrella above and beyond Energizing the South for Energy Justice. So we've got a program, We Rise, a campaign, Energizing the South for Energy Justice, and then above this, From Resilience to Restoration. And what is From Resilience to Restoration? It is our first federal grant. Now, we did get some seed money from Justice 40 as part of the initial cohort, and they're helping us identify other federal grants and other resources, again, with the intent of getting this money to the people most in need. But this grant from the National Academies of Science is our first actual federal grant. And here you can see the initiative summary. I don't do death by PowerPoint. I won't read the slides, but if any of you are having trouble seeing this on your screen, I'll be happy to elaborate. Please feel free to stop me. Our partners in this grant. So I should say this is specifically dealing with Gulf South states. The NAS grant has the specific focus of Gulf South states, not every state in the Southeast. For Alabama and Florida, of course, we're Alabama Interfaith Power and Light, but our main partner in Alabama and Florida on this initiative is going to be Gulf Coast Creation Care. And we have one of their wonderful representatives with us tonight that hopefully you'll meet after I start talking. In Louisiana, our partners Gulf Coast Center for Law and Policy. In Mississippi, ECHO. And in Texas, Texas Impact. So we of course, as a chapter of National Interfaith Power and Light, coordinate very closely with like Georgia Interfaith Power and Light and other Interfaith Power and Light IPL chapters throughout the Southeast. So while this NAS grant is specifically for Gulf South states, believe me, we are working with other IPLs, and thanks to Justice 40 and others, looking to leverage more funding to take this throughout the South and even beyond. Here's what our timeline looks like. It's an 18-month grant. So the first 6 months look like this. And well, actually I went through that too fast. So let me just say just a quick thing here. Again, we're looking at layers. We want to create a national database or a national website, a national resource for From Resilience to Restoration. And then work very quickly toward establishing state hubs. Most likely, our partners will either house each hub in a Gulf South state, or they very well may spin it off. But of course, our partners are the logical place to start for creating hubs in the Southeast. But our real From Resilience to Restoration hubs are, again, houses of faith. We want to quickly take this down to the grassroots level. And what is From Resilience to Restoration? It's the work we're already doing in We Rise, weatherization, and our energy burden work, and so forth. But it is also about creating not just resilience plans. We're partnering with a lot of folks already doing resilience work and talking about resilience hubs. But as some of you are well aware, resilience is a bit of a mixed bag. Like sustainability, the word has some baggage with it, and is not always seen as a totally positive thing. A lot of folks are tired, and to ask them to be more resilient is not the way to approach them. And we all know resiliency is not enough. There's a I'm not a sports person, but there's a famous sports quote. You can't win if you only play a defensive game. We know we've got to restore ecosystems. We've got to restore people to their proper place in terms of economic justice and power. These people that have been left out for so long. So this is what we're really talking about. 7 to 12, we actually establish these resilience to restoration hubs. And in the last 6 months, we launch and we celebrate. But the work is certainly not done, because, as I say, it's important that we work with individual houses of faith to create restoration plans that are customized to their local needs. Other potential allies in this, not formal partners, but folk we will definitely be reaching out to, coordinating with, seeking and giving help to and from. We have some representatives of these folks on the call tonight. And as you might imagine, we can't do this alone. This grant funds me at 50% of my time. So half of my time is dedicated to this new initiative. For Rev, it's 2/3 of his time. Rev is a restoration hub coordinator, the restoration hub coordinator, and 2/3 of his time will be spent on this project. Now, again, this encompasses a lot of work that we're already doing, but we're very focused, especially focused on this. So one of the first things we need to do is hire an outreach coordinator. This person, we're hiring at $20 an hour for 20 hours a week. And our ideal candidate, because again, we're dealing with, we're an interfaith organization, and our main partners ultimately are houses of all faiths. So probably the ideal candidate for this is a diverse divinity student, but we are certainly open to suggestions. Please pass them along. I will gladly talk to anyone you may recommend. And so also want to point out, Rev and I are both teaching some interfaith environmental justice courses. This one coming up with School of Global Citizenry, and they're finalizing the dates, but Rev is also teaching one with Pathways Theological. We'll be happy to give you more info on those if you're interested. And that is enough talking by me. At this point, I want to open it up for questions and then let you folks give us updates from your state, from your organization, and just introduce yourselves to one another, because I know some of you don't know one another, and you need to. So who would like to well, first off, are there any burning questions? Anything I left out or was just not clear?
Yeah, Kyle, I'll jump in. Alex Easdale, I'm the executive director of the Southeast Climate and Energy Network. And first, I want to say that's a really good presentation. I saw you present on Justice 40. Kyle presented at the U.S. Climate Action Network, 100% Renewable Energy Action Team, which is a working group that I co-chair. And he knocked it out of the ballpark. You know, excellent presentation, and I'm kind of seeing some of the things, you know, for a second time, and still just I look forward to seeing it again, actually. But just a little bit about myself. I'm based out of South Florida, so I'm in the great state of Florida, originally from the country of Argentina, even though I've spent at this point most of my life here in the United States. I've traveled throughout this hemisphere and worked in different countries as well. Very passionate about environmental justice issues and social justice issues, and you know, I'm also on the board of the People's Justice Council. With my, you know, work very closely with my good friend Reverend Michael Malcolm, who happens to be on the board now of the Southeast Climate and Energy Network. So, and I'm going to see him next week. But SEN is basically a 78 member organization network in the Southeastern United States. It's the biggest network in the Southeast within the climate movement. Our members are extremely diverse across the board in terms of organizational size. You know, we have some big green organizations, not many, but you know, NRDC, Environmental Defense Fund, Sierra Club are members. Then we have very big, large regional groups like Southern Alliance for Clean Energy, Southern Environmental Law Center, Appalachian Voices, you know, groups like that. Then more mid-sized organizations like Gulf Coast Center for Law and Policy, which is I saw as a partner of this initiative. And we have some groups that are board led or just with one or two staff people that are doing amazing work on the front lines of climate change in their communities. We're chaired by Reverend Neil Woodbury out of South Carolina, good friend and an amazing social justice and environmental justice leader with a national brand. So yeah, and we are passionate about energy issues. But you know, are working and starting to work more intersectionally with other organizations, with other sectors, given the scope and the magnitude of this crisis that we face, especially for future generations. So Kyle, there's a quick little blurb on who I am, and really happy to be here. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Alex. Yes, SEN is definitely one of the partners with whom we are coordinating closely on this. And we value all of you. In fact, Alex has gone so far as to loan us one of his staff members. We have the wonderful Abigail Franks, who could not be with us tonight, but who helped write this grant and helped us make this happen. So we owe you. Are there questions? Or I mean, I'll be happy to I know I've reached out in advance to some of you. I'll be happy to prompt you, or feel free. Don't be shy if you want to say something. Lela.
Hey everybody, and I recognize a few people. Joyce, I haven't seen you in forever. I don't know the rest of the folks, I don't think. But anyway, we are Gulf Coast Creation Care down in South Alabama, and we have recently had someone in Florida say that they would like to coordinate at least the Florida Panhandle churches. Now, this is all still in its infancy, but I also have someone in Mississippi who is trying to get some action started in Mississippi. So things are moving. Our goal, Gulf Coast Creation Care, is to get churches involved in the work of forming green teams, hopefully ultimately to be able to have a broad-based group of churches who can then approach our change makers as in the form of policy makers, decision makers, to do the right thing in this area. I learned recently in talking with the resilience project coordinator for the city that our mayor gave a speech recently in which he said the words climate change 5 times, which is remarkable for this area. she said she almost fell off her seat. So, things are happening, and it's just a matter of getting the faith community to realize that we have a moral obligation to deal with this issue. And Kyle, in listening to your presentation on this latest grant, I also am on the board of the Mobile Environmental Justice Action Coalition, known as MEJAC, and it strikes me that some of the work that you're talking about doing, that would be a good community in this particular area to work with.
Indeed.
Yeah.
This is why it's going to take all of us. Amen.
Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead, Daniel.
Hey, everybody. It's nice to meet all of you. I heard Kyle speak, I believe it was last week. What is time these days anyway? Hearing about all the work that these organizations are doing. And so I work at a company, energy audit and clean tech startup called Gemini Energy Solutions. And this really caught my attention because one of our main things, so what we really do, what we focus on is delivering affordable investment grade energy audits for the small commercial building sector. Why that sector? Well, that represents 90% small commercial buildings, or 90% of the commercial building market. And it's a severely underrepresented, underserved, that's a better word, underserved section of the market. Most ESCOs really only focus on the larger ones, but we really have a community driven kind of approach to the way that we do things. We're a Black-owned and Black-led company, and we try to prioritize BIPOC communities and just other historically marginalized groups. Again, that's why this initiative really spoke to us. And secondly, one of our big projects is what we call our clean energy hub, and that's kind of centering around the churches themselves. We're partnering, one of the main groups is Green the Church. I'm not sure if folks here are familiar with that organization. So with Reverend Carol there. And so we're starting with a church out in Hayward, California, called Glad Tidings International, Church of God in Christ. And so we're basically saying, okay, you have these faith-based organizations, and honestly, it can spur from there to schools even as a great option, but we'll keep it on the faith base here. So faith-based organizations, kind of use them as a way to not only showcase all the benefits of clean energy, but also as a great way to also distribute some of those benefits to the community more widely, because they will likely be able to access more financial resources as well to kind of kickstart the transition and the transformation of their own campus. So again, we're using them because it's a community hub, quite literally, and whether it's adding grid resiliency, and just potential other sources of revenue that can also help the community at large. That is kind of one of our main goals, one of our projects. So, as it's a really great way to kind of say, hey, this is a tangible example for people to come in and see, oh, this is what clean energy can do for me. So I apologize if that was a little bit rambly, but yeah.
No, thank you very much, because of course that's one of the first questions we get. Our We Rise focus is on residences. We're asking houses of faith to identify priority residences, but we don't want to leave the houses of faith out. And our own energy efficiency expert is happy to work with them, but it's so nice to have all these tools in the tool shed. And thank you. We need all the partners we can get.
Yeah, and we're hopefully also rolling a program out too in the Roanoke Electric cooperative area in North Carolina. That should be happening hopefully soon, and covering I think they have 162 churches in their area. So, we're very much a church forward in that sense.
Very cool.
So you working with my big brother Ambrose. So it's just a matter of time before we working together anyway. It sounds like.
Exactly. So yeah, we're kind of bringing the whole package beyond the audit, and then the other companies that we work with to really transform it. They're all also all Black-led companies as well. And I understand the irony of me saying that, but it's true.
Go Tiara.
Hello, everybody. My name is Tiara Dorsey. I am the Executive Director of Bethel Inslee Action Task, which is a 30-year-old organization focused on housing in underserved communities, affordable housing in underserved communities. And for us, of course, we were started out of Bethel AME Church here in Inslee in Birmingham. And for us, I'm just learning so much through Rev and through Kyle about, because of course, coming from the affordable housing nonprofit side, not only do we provide rental units to, that's affordable to some of our lowest income individuals in the community, but we also provide affordable homes for home buyers. And typically these are going to be first-time home buyers that, believe it or not, are in their late 50s and 60s. This is their first time being able to actually afford a home. And one of the things that me coming from the construction side of things automatically understanding is, how do we make these new homes more efficient? When we're going in and rehabbing homes for sale, how do we make sure that we're not just putting lipstick on the pig, making everything super pretty to sell these properties, but then people get in them and they lose them a few years later because they really don't have the income or the just the extra money to do some of these energy upgrades. And whereas a lot of the investors are going to come in and they're just going to make the home pretty, they're going to do a new kitchen, but they're going to leave the same old windows though. So when we're going in from our side, whether it's new construction, whether it's rehabbing our current units or any rental units that we pick up, or whether it's really just going in and taking a look at the entire construction envelope when we're building and making sure that, we fill all the holes on the front end, because for us, that's the easiest time to do it. When you're building something new, you don't have to worry about, tearing out walls and sheetrock and trying to, just going in and retrofit things. So I'm really learning a lot, like I said, from Rev and Kyle, and they're expert in being just a part of Justice 40, which was one of the great things for Beat, because a lot of times we're not sort of locked and loaded in with the conversations that you guys are having. And by us being able to be here, sort of up front. So when I'm fundraising for upgrading the rental properties and doing things such as aging in place upgrades, we're able to take a look at, okay, well, if I have to replace the water heater, we're going to look at these types of water heaters, or we're going to look at adding in this type of installation, which is going to lower, those utility bills, that's going to further help our most at-risk people to begin with, so that, we're kind of trying to stop the work before you guys have to come in and do it. So at least on the housing end, I can't take care of the rest. So I'm really excited to be a part of it. It's been eye-opening because I just sort of know the nuts and bolts where the hammer and the nail meet. I sort of know, like, oh, okay, duh, you're going to go in and, fill in this hole and make sure the guys don't cut the sheetrock too large over here. And if they do, we're going to go ahead and go in and have somebody to, take care of all of that. But you guys just really give us the ability to let our funders know, this is the reason why we have to put this extra in when we're rehabbing. This is the reason why we have to put this in when we're constructing, because these are the back end situations that our community has to deal with if we don't take care of it now. This is what, the burden is going to turn into, 5, 10, 15 years down the road. And then at that point, you have politicians and leaders that say, well, why didn't these people do something about these houses? Why didn't they take better care of them? Well, there was all these other things going on when they purchased them. or, you know, when they started renting and their landlords weren't doing certain things. So you guys are giving us the right verbiage. You're giving us the perspective to be able to speak from on that side of housing that I think is so important. And so I really, you know, can't thank PJC enough for partnering with us and giving us this information.
Well, but Beat is a very valuable partner. And while a house of faith is a component of that, you know, we very much want to work with all sorts of organizations, community organizations like Beat, to you know, it's going to take us all to make this happen. And one thing I didn't mention, there's so much from resilience to restoration. One thing I didn't mention is we're big believers in co-ops and forming local co-ops where the workers actually own the business. That's a powerful way of keeping money in the community and so forth. So there's so many components to this, and we we need all the partners we can get. I want to take just a minute to make sure that two people introduce themselves on our team, because speaking of not being able to do this without them, Marisha and Jerry, if you would just say a little bit about why you're indispensable to us. Let's start with you, Marisha, if you're able. Are you at a point where you can talk? All right, let's give Marisha a moment. Jerry.
Hi, everybody. It's great to meet you all. For those of you that I do not know, I am a transplant from South Florida to Northern Michigan, and I am truly passionate about climate change and environmental justice. I'm working with PJC on grants management and other administrative issues, and I am honored to be part of this team. So it's great to meet you all. I'm sure I'm going to be seeing you all again.
All right. I apologize. I could not get off mute fast enough.
No problem, Marisha. I figured you were posting to social media as you were wont to do.
Hi, guys. I'm Marisha. I am the social media coordinator for the People's Justice Council and Alabama IPL. I've been in this fight for going on, I think, about 5 years now. And over the years, I have become just involved and engulfed and in love with the injustice fight, and helping those who don't have a voice, pretty much. Yeah.
Thank you, Marisha. Yeah, Rev Malcolm has his own creative team, and we're very glad that they are shared with PJC. Who else would like to introduce yourself? Tell us about you, your work.
Hi, I guess I'll go. My name is Ben. I'm with the Harambe House located here in Savannah, Georgia. I think Brother Daul sent me a link for you all, but again, I'm not sure because I'm just trying to connect with so many environmental justice, community-led based organizations. Sorry, as I get tongue-tied. I dropped in the chat below an environmental justice toolkit that you guys are welcome to have, save, share with anyone who wants to come involved as a community organizer or community advocate, a volunteer, just to make sure that we are working together to create this justice for climate control and making sure that everyone's living a sustainable life. So if you guys need anything from me, I'm here. I'm an organizer already for the Center for Common Ground, as well as the Harambe House and the Fannie Lou Hamer Democracy Center. So as all this work intertwines and I'm meeting with other organization leaders and other members and volunteers, I'm welcome to connect you guys with them as well.
Thank you so much. We will gladly take you up on that.
Yes.
But please tell Dr. McLean that I said hello and I love her, and anything you all need from me, you always have my ear.
Okay, thank you, Brother Malcolm. I really appreciate that. Yes. Dr. McLean is definitely a pioneer in this journey for environmental justice, and I have learned so much from her with clean energy and cleaning rivers that has species in it, from a lining of a canopy for trees and asthma. It's so much to learn. So I've only been here in this position for 6 months, and I've learned so much and worked on so many different teams and projects. So if I can connect you guys with any information, as I said one more time, I'm welcome to share, because I hear so many people in such a negative state when it comes to global warming and climate control, saying that we're so far behind and we're not going to be able to bridge the gap, and we might as well, and I'm just an optimistic person. I believe if we all pull together and we all are forward thinking and we put our best foot forward, that we can be on top of this to sustain this life for our kids and our kids, which is very important for me, as I have 2 little kids here that I'm going to leave behind.
Thank you so much. Would anyone else like to introduce yourselves? Going once, going twice. Well, all right, folks. I can let y'all recover 10 minutes of your very valuable evening. Thank you so much for choosing to spend this part of your evening with us. I will post my I posted my email previously, but let me post it again in the chat. And hopefully you guys are able to save the chat as well. I don't think we've got that disabled. So please feel free to save the chat to keep all these resources available. And I look forward to getting to know all of you better as we proceed. Cheers and thanks all.